At the beginning of the 19th century, Jungbar, or Zanzibar as it is known today, acquired a degree of importance due to the search for the source of the Nile and the slave trade. As a result, the dhow trade with Arabia and India developed rapidly. Dhows sailed to Africa with the southerly monsoons, selling essential and consumer goods that were suddenly in great demand, and sailed back to India with the northerly monsoons. In 1823, a young trader from Kutch Mandavi on the west coast of India named Jivanjee Budhabhoy sailed to Zanzibar and stepped ashore to explore this new market. In 1825, he established his business in the name of Jivanjee Budhabhoy and Company Limited. It was to be the first step towards the making of a considerable mercantile empire. Jivanjee Budhabhoy's firm traded in copra, textiles, ivory, groundnuts, cereals, beeswax and cloves. In 1861, Jivanjee left his business to his three sons, Karimjee, Pirbhai and Ismailji. The second son, Karimjee Jivanjee, set up on his own after a split in the business and soon after left for India for his only son Ali Bhai's marriage. History has recorded that in 1861, a fierce storm lashed the coast of Zanzibar and a storm-tossed dhow from Kutch Mandavi floundered at the entrance to Zanzibar port. Its passengers had to complete their odyssey by swimming the last few hundred yards. Karimjee Jivanjee was a passenger on that ship and his entire cargo was jettisoned in the storm. The unfortunate Karimjee Jivanjee had come thousands of miles from home not only with his capital gone, but in debt to other traders. He had to earn a living and repay a debt of rupees 200, then a princely sum. With remarkable tenacity and patience, he steered around his fortunes and soon his business extended to Pemba, the ports of mainland Tanganyika and Madagascar. 125 years later, Karimjee Jivanjee and Company Limited had become one of the largest businesses in Eastern Africa, with a global reach to the United States, Britain, Germany, Japan, the Far East and India. Even after his son Ali Bhai's death, Karimjee continued to trade under conditions that would appall today's businessmen. Every year he took the hazardous dhow journey to India to trade. Karimjee Jivanjee died in 1898 and his grandsons took over. Soon the brothers started acquiring agencies from Europe, USA and Japan. When the eldest, Hassan Ali Bhai Karimjee Jivanjee died in 1918, the two surviving brothers, Muhammad Ali and Yusuf Ali, along with their nephew Tayyab Ali, took over the company affairs. Then came the Great Depression, sinking businesses worldwide. But the Karimjee stayed afloat thanks to their diversified business interests in commodity trading, consumer products marketing, farming, insurance. They also became stronger by adding new shipping agencies. The group also diversified into petroleum and became agents for Texaco, the predecessors of Caltex. At that time, demand for petroleum products was limited. Nevertheless, even a sale of 5 tins of kerosene was personally attended to by the owners. Other firms would have left such sales to subordinates. This spirit still runs in the family, something that any handbook on how to build a successful business would mention in bold letters. Motor vehicles followed petroleum with the establishment of International Motor Mart in 1927, representing originally General Motors and later Roots Group, Comer Trucks, BSA, Michelin, Kelvinator and International Harvester Tractors. It was this agency that gave the business its international name. The company needed big-ticket growth and they struck white gold in the form of sisal. The idea planted in 1918 bore fruit decades later. The family entered the business when large sisal estates, formerly in German hands, were auctioned by the British after the First World War. The first estate of 2,500 hectares was bought in 1922 and by 1924 the firm had acquired 5 more. By 1965, Karimjee Jivanjee Estates had an annual production of 20,000 tons sisal. It was the 3rd largest private sisal producer in the world. Success in sisal prompted the family to further invest in agriculture. Tea estates and kapok plantations were acquired and developed. Agriculture became, for many years, the strongest pillar of the empire. But dark clouds soon began to gather after 1967 when Tanzania adopted its extreme socialist policies. Agro-business suffered due to a global decline in prices, government marketing control and the imposition of export taxes. Production declined as money ran out and as the country's acute foreign exchange shortages led to lack of funds for repairs and replacements. A brave attempt at revival was made in 1990, but adverse world market prices, rising costs and further tax rises led to huge debts, forcing the company to exit the agro-business altogether. For a while, it seemed as if dark clouds were everywhere. In 1971, Karimjees lost their colossal real estate business comprising residential and commercial properties through nationalization. But as some doors close, other doors open. Thanks to Yusuf Ali Karimjee's foresight, the distributorship of Toyota, which was acquired in 1965 under International Motor Mart, proved to be the family's savior. Today, in its new avatar as Toyota Tanzania Limited and a turnover of $15 million plus, it is the engine for future growth. Toyota Tanzania Limited has a service network for Toyota sales, parts and service throughout the country through branches and dealers. To complement the auto business, the group also has the agency for Yamaha motorcycles. The vertical integration of the vehicles business features among the foremost visions the Karimjees have for the future. And fueled by their unwavering commitment towards customer service and satisfaction, the wheel of fortune is slowly turning full circle. Along with the flourishing Toyota business, the family today holds some prime real estate in Tanga, Arusha and Dar es Salaam, and the family was able to preserve their charming house nestled in the Amani Forest Reserve in the Usambara Mountains. By itself, wealth is nothing unique. What makes the Karimjee story extraordinary are the family's philanthropic deeds despite all odds. Karimjee charitable foundations have built hospitals, clinics, schools, mosques, community centers, and libraries. The family also contributed generously towards the establishment of the Amani Nature Reserve. The family's most famous contribution is the Karimjee Hall, which was donated to Dar es Salaam city in 1955. It was the official seat of Parliament from 1960 until 1995, when Parliament moved to Dodoma. Karimjees have given out more than $1.5 million in less than 2 decades.
Sir Tayabal Karimjee Education Trust, which gave me £25 per month for 2 years. And after 2 years, I was able to earn enough to support myself.
The Karimjees' generosity has even crossed the oceans to reach their roots. Funds for a madrasa were contributed as early as 1902 by Ismailji Jivanji in this town of Mandvi in Kutch.
इस सीजन 1902 માં દાઉદી વોરા જમાતને વકફ કરેલ જે મદ્રેસા ઘણા વર્ષો સુધી બચ્ચાઓએ શિક્ષણ લીધું છે અને ઘણો ઉપયોગી થયો છે.
Besides charity, the Karimjees have contributed by their keen involvement in public life, a fact acknowledged by Alan Lennox Boyd, Colonial Secretary to the British Empire in 1958. Family members have also frequently appeared in honours lists. Sir Tayab Ali Karimjee and Sir Yusuf Ali Jivanji were knighted in 1955 and 1958 respectively. 2 stars of Zanzibar, 1 CBE and 3 OBEs have been awarded to Karimjee family members. Abdul Karim Karimjee was the mayor of Dar es Salaam and later he became Speaker of Parliament. He had the supreme honour of presiding over Parliament on 9 December 1961 when Tanzania became independent, a ceremony that was held at Karimjee Hall. The family has also widely patronized sport like cricket and hockey and even instituted a trophy. Sir Tayab Ali perhaps took the family involvement in public life to the most dazzling levels when he delivered an emotionally charged and momentous speech at the Legislative Council in 1936 against a Land Alienation Act which was targeted against the Arab and Indian communities. When he walked out in protest, he was kicked out of the council shoulder high with a wave of jubilant supporters. Extreme socialism has gone and Tanzania has gone through a transformation heralding liberalization, democracy and reform. Today, it facilitates and embraces entrepreneurship and new investments. Gold and gemstone mining and tourism have replaced the old dependency on agriculture. In 2003, more tourists visited Tanzania than Kenya. Ngorongoro Crater and Serengeti National Park are indisputably the best in the world with some of the best lodges and resorts. The Tanzanian economy is growing at 5% of GDP per annum and is one of the best performing economies in Africa. Life in Dar es Salaam has been transformed with new hotels, supermarkets, shopping malls, casinos, restaurants, nightclubs and the occasional traffic jam. It is a nation ripe for young achievers like the next generation of Karimjees to take the legacy into the future.
Well, I think we're in a fortunate position in that the Toyota profits that we're making is going to be a good foundation for us to expand. We want to fully exploit the capability and capacity of Toyota firstly to make profit, and so there's room to expand there, and that's what we're doing at the moment. But in the next 2-3 years we're planning to do a strategic investment plan to advise us on which directions to go, what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses, what are the business opportunities that we should look at, what are the ones we should forget about. And this is something we're going to do, and I think we will have a lot to say because the economy is growing, The population is growing, the wealth of the nation is growing, and more opportunities are coming up every day. So I'm very optimistic about what we'll do in the future.
It's nice to come back to roots, I guess, to where it all started, to where generations before us, siblings, cousins, spent their childhoods and their lives together. And I guess it'd be nice to recreate that in some way.
The cubs are readying for the African safari, their traditional hunting ground for big dreams.